Hi, welcome to the quiz. You will be presented with multiple choice questions, each displayed on screen for a short time. Please make sure to attempt answering all the questions. Quizzes help us to reinforce our knowledge, identify areas where we need to focus more, and improve our overall performance. Taking quizzes can also help to increase retention and make the learning process more engaging and enjoyable. With that out of the way, you can answer along on quizalto.com. The exact URL of this quiz will be in the notes down below. Let's get started. Good luck. How does AWS Verified Access improve user experience when accessing AWS services? By speeding up network connections. By increasing data storage limits. By reducing API query response times. By simplifying the authentication process. How does AWS Verified Access improve the overall security posture of AWS accounts? By decreasing processing speeds. By reducing data storage costs. By simplifying network configurations. By enforcing strong authentication controls. What role does AWS Single Sign-On play in AWS Verified Access? Centralized access management for multiple AWS accounts. Managing AWS billing information. Providing data analytics for AWS services. Automating AWS service deployments. How does AWS Key Management Service enhance security within AWS Verified Access? By providing encryption key management for AWS services. By automating the deployment of AWS services. By analyzing cost and usage reports for AWS services. By monitoring real-time performance metrics of AWS services. What is the benefit of using AWS Identity and Access Management with AWS Verified Access? Monitor the performance of AWS services. Automate the deployment of AWS resources. Control and manage access to AWS services and resources. Optimize storage costs for AWS resources. Why is AWS Detective a valuable tool for threat detection within AWS Verified Access? It helps analyze, investigate, and respond to security incidents. It automates the deployment of AWS services. It monitors real-time performance metrics of AWS services. It optimizes storage costs for AWS resources. What is a potential challenge of managing third-party access without AWS Verified Access? Difficulty in enforcing access controls. Expedited access request processing. Higher scalability and performance. Lower security risks. What is a core security feature of AWS Verified Access for securing user identities? Multi-factor authentication. Public cloud storage. Real-time data analytics. Automated service scaling. Why is multi-factor authentication an important component of AWS Verified Access? It speeds up access to AWS services. It reduces the cost of AWS subscriptions. It provides real-time monitoring of AWS service usage. It adds an extra layer of security by requiring multiple forms of authentication. What is a benefit of using AWS Verified Access? Decreased regional restrictions. Enhanced security by verifying IAM policies. Unlimited access to all AWS services. Lower cost for AWS usage. What is a key feature of AWS Verified Access when granting access to third parties? Automatically approving all access requests. Disabling AWS CloudTrail logging. Granting full admin rights to the partner. Limiting access to specific AWS resources. What information is included in the third-party IAM policy submitted for AWS Verified Access? Requested permissions and resources. AWS account password. Billing information. Number of AWS instances running. What is a recommended best practice when configuring IAM policies for AWS Verified Access? Using common passwords for IAM users. Implementing the principle of least privilege. Granting full admin rights to all users. Disabling multi-factor authentication. What is the purpose of the AWS Verified Access Agreement review? To confirm that the permissions requested are reasonable. To open additional regions for access. To approve all IAM users. To validate the credit card on file. What is the benefit of using AWS Verified Access for large organizations with multiple AWS accounts? Automatic scaling of EC2 instances. Lower cost for API gateway usage. Unlimited access to all AWS services. Centralized management of cross-account access. What is an essential step prior to granting AWS Verified Access to a third party? Creating a new AWS account for the partner. Reviewing and approving their IAM policies. Running performance tests on all resources. Disabling AWS CloudWatch alarms. What is the main goal of implementing AWS Verified Access within an organization? To monitor network performance. To expand data storage capacity. To enhance account security. To automate data processing tasks. What is the benefit of using AWS Resource Access Manager in AWS Verified Access? Monitor real-time performance metrics of AWS services. Automate the deployment of AWS services. Optimize storage costs for AWS resources. Share AWS resources across multiple AWS accounts securely. What is the function of Amazon Cognito in AWS Verified Access? Automate the deployment of AWS services. Provide authentication, authorization, and user management for mobile applications. Optimize storage costs for AWS resources. Monitor real-time performance of AWS services. Why is AWS Cloud HSM important for encryption key management in AWS Verified Access? It provides secure and durable storage for encryption keys. It monitors real-time performance metrics of AWS services. It automates the deployment of AWS services. It optimizes storage costs for AWS resources. What is the benefit of using AWS Secrets Manager within AWS Verified Access? Monitor performance metrics of AWS services. Automate the deployment of AWS services. Securely store and manage sensitive information. Optimize storage costs for AWS resources. What is the primary goal of using AWS Verified Access? To grant full admin rights to all users. To automate resource provisioning. To securely delegate access to AWS resources. To prevent access to AWS services. What security benefit does AWS Verified Access offer in controlling user access to AWS services? Automated data archiving. Increased physical storage capacity. Enhanced access control through multi-factor authentication. Faster database query responses. What happens after AWS Verified Access is granted to a third party? Their IAM user is created automatically. They are granted access to specific AWS resources. They become the AWS account owner. They receive a bill for usage. What is a potential risk of granting overly permissive access without using AWS Verified Access? Improving compliance with regulations. Decreasing data usage costs. Compromising data security. Increasing data transfer speeds. And that's a wrap. Thanks to everyone who participated. Remember, you can answer along on quizalto.com, where you can keep track of your progress and find much more quizzes. We hope you had a fun and challenging time. Until next time. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel for more. Hit the bell icon to be notified as soon as we upload. Please leave a comment if you have any thoughts or suggestions, and if you think this video is worth sharing with someone who could benefit from it, please forward a link to them. See you next time. Thanks for watching.